Hello guys, welcome back to our City Skylines region of Coniferia. Now, as you can probably see on your screen right now, we are back in the regional capital city of Port Douglas. We've been spending lots of episodes all over the place, but now it's time to give our capital city project a little extra love. And we've got some issues to fix today, or I guess fix is a big word coming from me, because as you guys probably have guessed by now, we're gonna try and solve some of the crucial traffic issues here in the capital city. And if you are a long time supporter of the channel, you'll know that I'm not exactly a traffic expert, so it's gonna be interesting to see if I can fix some of these issues in today's episode. Now, I should say that I don't mind the big cities having lots of traffic. I'm not in any way, shape or form trying to build a perfect city. I'm trying to build a region where, despite the theme being completely fictional, then there's a sense of realism to it. It's believable, so to say. And I guess I assume you guys would agree that reality isn't perfect at all, so I don't really mind traffic issues. But I think in case of our region, the scale of these issues have kind of grown out of. Yeah, it's bad. Let's just grab our traffic view, and it's all red, okay? I mean, it's really red. So it's terrible here in Port Douglas, but there are other issues throughout the region. If we go over here, we can see that there are certain areas of downtown Pine Harbor which are also kind of jammed up. And like I said, I don't mind lots of traffic. I think it adds a sense of realism and just a feeling of a real living area to the region, so I don't really mind that. For instance, we've got this intersection up here, which is a really crucial piece of infrastructure that really connects all the areas north of Pine Harbor with the city. So it's a really central intersection, and if we take a look, we can see that it's quite busy. There's a ton of traffic. But in this case, I don't mind. I've already done a major upgrade here, so there are plenty of lanes and some lane rules that I've made here to try and make traffic flow as good as possible. There's also a timed traffic light here. So in general, like I said, I don't mind the traffic. It's only when it gets really bad that I think it's time to make some fixes. And I think one issue we've got here in Port Douglas, obviously without being a traffic expert, then I think one issue is that we've got too many roads, basically too many intersections, and some really short segments of road here and there, which aren't really necessary. And you know, the context of this is that the population density here in Port Douglas is quite high. We've got, you know, almost 2,500 residents within a pretty confined area. So the density is actually quite high around these parts, and car ownership seems to be pretty high as well. For whatever reason, the tram line I've built is highly inefficient. Well, I guess me having built it is reason enough, but yeah, it's less efficient than I had hoped, and I also think it's got something to do with the fact that it kind of covers a ring road around downtown without really diving into the downtown core. So I think an aspect of fixing traffic in Port Douglas might also be to just start laying out a bus network that can kind of reach these smaller roads as opposed to the tram network. And we don't have to make it detailed or fully fledged, but we could just start it out and kind of make it evolve over time. But yeah, first up, we'll see if we can do some quick fixes and get the traffic flowing a little better. So I think we've got a road here, which obviously is encountering lots of traffic, and I think I'd like to actually just delete this road and then make it a pedestrian area instead. So for now, I'm just gonna delete it, and then I'm gonna try and give priority to this piece of road, oh sorry, this stretch of road here, and not so much this access point to the bus terminal at the train station. So I'm just gonna see if we can apply some traffic rules like so, and then we'll just go in here and we'll make this part yield, and we'll do the simplest detailing we can do, just to add just a bit of character here. Oh, that's a little too much. Like so, that's fine. Cool, that will do for now. And oh, I've got a sunken building here, so I'm gonna need to just fix that. We can use our terraforming network here to kind of flatten this area. We'll just disable any sort of snapping. And I actually kind of like this segment here because we can have a crossing. I'll just move it just a bit, but I think it makes sense that if this is pedestrianized, we've got a dedicated crossing here that you can use. And cool, I think that looks kind of nice. Do I actually have a prop of some sort to indicate a crossing? Seems not. That's okay, we don't have to. We'll have to watch the problem it anyways, I assume, so that's fine. Alright, I'm hopeful this will help clear this up just a bit. Here as well, I'd like to add some priorities so that these guys yield, and here you can just drive through, and preferably we disable this crossing but keep this one. I think we'll have this line here be dashed because you can of course turn left here, and we'll do like this. As you guys know, I like to just do some really simple detailing, you know, make some simple lines. That's good enough for me. Sometimes I kind of take a deeper dive and really detail up an intersection, but it's only if it's like a really centrally located one. If it's like a real focal point of the city, I'll do that. For now, I quite like this. So I'm hopeful that's gonna be an improvement, but we'll see. I'll play a little later. Let's take a look through the rest of the downtown core here and see if we can find some problem areas. So another area here where we've got a junction here that's probably not necessary. I think I'd actually be inclined to remove this and make that pedestrianized as well. We do need more pedestrianized areas here in Port Douglas, so why not pick this area as well? And of course, should we still have no, I think we're gonna remove this parking lot, and then we could make this a small plaza with shops. right, that clears this out quite nicely. I think we're gonna wait a minute before we detail this up and detail this small pedestrian path up here as well. Let's look for some more problematic areas. There's this intersection here which is isn't looking great, and I think one reason is that cars here, they all seem to want to go straight throughout this junction to go to the northern part of downtown. They don't want to turn right, and in that case it's of course not great that I have designated this lane as right only. At least I think I have. Maybe I haven't actually done that, but we'll allow for going straight as well, and we'll just make sure all this is aligned. We've got the same issue here. We've got a ton of cars that want to go left and straight, but not really any cars that want to go right. So I think if we make a change here, we can make this a dedicated left turn. And over here it seems to be working fine. Cars primarily want to turn right. So maybe this will clear up a little more. If we take a look down here, we've also got quite a bit of traffic here, and as we can see, these lanes aren't being used at all, so there's really no reason that I have made this change. What I'm trying to say is if I just turn it around like that, then maybe that's gonna help a bit. But I guess the overall problem is most of these vehicles want to turn right here, and we don't have 2 lanes for that on this small tram road. But I think that's fine. We'll see if the changes we made up here will also have an effect at this intersection, hopefully. We've got another problematic area here, which is kind of the same deal as the intersection over here. We've got a dedicated right turn here, despite no one wanting to use it. So we're gonna grab Traffic Manager President Edition, and we're gonna allow you to drive straight through here, like so. And I think we're gonna allow a going straight here as well, because this dedicated right turn did not see a lot of use either. Very nice. And then I think we just gonna throw in a little prop here. We've also got a bit of an issue here, which might be fixable by just giving priority to this major road, as we've done in other places. So if we allow to go through here and we make this a yield and then do our trademark simple line work. Like so, then hopefully that can help alleviate it, and we should be able to, can we just copy paste? Or is that gonna look funky? It's gonna look funky. Oh well. We're gonna copy paste some of these basic lines. And just make it real simple. The most important part for now isn't the detailing, it's just trying to secure a better throughput of traffic. We'll make this a yield as well. So hopefully that's gonna clear up some things. I think I'm gonna hit play now, and then we'll see if some of this clears up. Now I've let the game run for a couple of minutes, and some things have actually started to clear out quite a bit, which is really nice. I'm quite surprised actually, but I guess the traffic simulation has really just battered me and made me a broken spirit in this game, because I've never really been all that great at it. I think we can make an additional good change by doing something to this area here, because we've got two intersections here which are really close, and it's a bit iffy. So I'm hopeful that maybe we can do some sort of a change where, okay, I'm gonna try something now, and for all the traffic experts out there, I am inviting you to bash me. So think up your best complaint, or diss rather, to the changes I'm gonna try now, and then let me hear it in the comment section. I'm looking forward to it. But I'd like to try and remove the, let's see, I'll remove the crossings here, and I'll remove the crossings here, and then I'll see if I can add a node in here. I can, but it's of course wonky. It's crossing, which is perfect, and it's got the right marking, and I don't want to stretch it. Perfect, like that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'll add the same yield rules that I can't. Oh, that's because this is a one. It's in one direction here. Of course, I can do it. This part of a oh, I've got a timed traffic light here that I need to remove first. Yoink. Do I have the same over here? I don't. Cool. So we'll make this yield, and then we are gonna prioritize the through traffic here above the other type of traffic. So we'll do like this. We'll remove the crossings. We'll do the same over here. Remove these crossings. Prioritize through traffic. Well, we'll add our own crossings here, because they of course disappeared when we removed all the crossings with node controller. And then I'm gonna spend a little more time detailing up these areas here with intersection marking tool to make it look all right. Alright, I think that turned out pretty cool, at least aesthetically cool, but we'll certainly see how well it's gonna function, and how much sense from a traffic perspective it makes. Probably not a whole lot. Over here I'm going to add a node here, and we're gonna make it another crossing, like so. Because we're gonna have a pedestrianized area here, as you guys know. So we're just gonna line this just a bit and add a bit more curvature to this road here, so that it makes sense. Can we squeeze this in just a bit? We can. Very nice. I think it will be a cool little area here. We'll get some tables going, some outdoor serving as well. But yeah, I'm really enjoying adding some of these fixes here. I call them fixes, but yeah, we'll see how well it works. I'm gonna let the game run for a little more and I'll get back to you guys. Guys, look at this. It's been 10 minutes or so, something like that. Went to grab another nice Sunday coffee and traffic has cleaned up rather nicely. Now, as I said, we might, reiterate on a lot of this, and there are so many intersections and other stuff here in Port Douglas that we are far from done with. But for now, the small fixes I've made throughout the entire downtown has really just cleaned up traffic completely. Actually, I feel we have too little traffic now, but that's of course fantastic, and it also highlights that there were some major issues before. So yeah, I hadn't given the road layout too much thought before when I initially built the downtown, but anyways, it's all fixable and it's sort of fixed now, and I think this area in particular looks quite cool. I think really, whoa, yeah, yoink. I know some Mercedeses, this older E-Class in particular, are well built, but I'm not sure this is a great idea, even if it got 5 stars in the NCAP test. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that ideally I'm gonna set up some timed traffic lights here, or alternatively turn this into a roundabout with the tram line going through the middle. If you guys think that would be a cool idea, let me know. And if you have other traffic hacks or major traffic changes that you feel would be really cool to implement, then let me know in the comment section. And I'll see if there are some I can implement without making a fool out of myself. There are a few things that we just need to clean up now. So for one, I added an additional node here to have this traffic light regulated crossing here, because we're gonna have a nice promenade here sometime in the future. Yeah, the beach and promenade here in Port Douglas is a real Blizzard soon TM thing. Sorry for that, but there's so much stuff to build in the region and so little time. At least it feels like that sometimes. But when I added this node, I think something messed up with my tram stops, because we've got 2 tram stops here in the red line that are just a little too close. But I think that should be fixable by just grabbing these 2 stops and moving them over here. And I think they were here initially as well, because as you guys can see, we've got these trees that I've placed here, and I assume it's intended for these planters that come with the skin for the stubs. So if we move this stub over here and this stub over here, yeah, we see that the trees somewhat line up. Just gonna adjust them just a bit. Just a tiny touch. There you go. So yeah, like I said, it's not perfect at all, but I think this is already a vast improvement, and hopefully the city is much more robust now for further expansions, because it's due time that we soon start expanding this way. And really, we've got so much work to do here in Port Douglas. It's nerve-wracking and exciting all at the same time, but I guess the positive is that in this region it's gonna be a while before we run out of stuff to build. I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab a good sip of the freshly brewed coffee, and then I'm gonna create these pedestrianized areas, and we're gonna use the same theme that I've kind of created throughout Coniferia for some of the open spots and plazas. So I'm really fond of using red bricks throughout the region. I use it for my custom tram stops. I use it for open plazas. If we go over to Pine Harbor, I use it for bus stops. I'll find a custom one that's a better example. We use it here, for instance. So yeah, red bricks, really a fan of that, and I've used that theme as well here. I like to implement more and more networks instead of relying too much on decals and props. because there's I think there's gonna be a smaller chance of me hitting the network limit than the perpendicular limit. So I think I'm gonna take inspiration for how I built these open plaza areas in the previous episode, where we built this huge mixed-use apartment and shopping mall complex here right in the heart of Pine Harbor. Yeah, I'm gonna take inspiration from that style and do some of the pedestrian areas over here in Port Douglas. And I'm gonna shut up and quit my rambling for a few moments while I build this, and hopefully I can find some nice tunes for you guys to listen to. So let's get going. Alright, let's take a little recap of what we built so far. So we finished this first pedestrian strip, which I'm quite pleased with. If anything, it's really nice to have the first of such an area completed, because the style we can sort of copy paste or make small modifications to for other parts of the region, because I think it would make sense that for redevelopment projects, if the redevelopment projects are built sort of within the same time period, then some of the design cues and elements would be the same. But yeah, we've got this open eating area. Wish I had some props with some actual people sitting and eating. I know you can probably grab that from the workshop, so I'm gonna have to take an extra look. Some benches down here at the center, and some planters, and some lights as well. Added a bunch of signs on these buildings to just make it a little more lively and make it stand out more as a commercial area. And there's already, I think, a decent amount of pedestrian volume coming through here. Someone's gonna grab a coffee. You can get pizza and beers. There's a liquor store, a Burberry store in here, which is kind of odd maybe, but I guess it ties all right into this building here, which I assume carries some overly expensive clothes or something like that. So overall, I'm quite pleased with it. I also redeveloped this corner. We had this vanilla hotel building before, and yeah, I just wasn't pleased with it. So I went with this really beautiful old building here, which is one of the older buildings in this part of downtown. Some of the more old ones are in here in the very heart of downtown. But yeah, I think this location could warrant someone to, build their dream apartment complex back in the heyday of the city, or when the population really boomed. With this pedestrian strip done here, I think we are gonna move over here to this smaller one and kind of be inspired by the exact same style. Maybe make some small tweaks, but otherwise make it hopefully just as cozy. So I think we're gonna push on with that now.
You can call my name, I'll be you're around. But it's back and forth, and it's up and down sometimes. And I think it's time that we cross that final line. Oh, I think it's time to see the
Alright, it's about time we do a little recap, but before that, what I'm doing right now is I'm dragging out some really narrow invisible pedestrian roads. Now I know this already is a pedestrian road and functions as it should, but I find that many pedestrians will take precedence on these invisible ones when they can, and that means I can sort of get 2 lanes going here. That makes sense, because I rather not people walk straight in the center, because then they're gonna walk right through these props. But yeah, driving your Golf through it, no problem. Anyways, this technique actually seems to work quite well over here, where I don't really have people walking in the direct center of this path, but they walk in the 2 sort of invisible pathways that I've placed down instead. So I'm hopeful that same thing is gonna work out over here. Not yet though. We've got this good boy just walking straight through the plants, but I guess that's sort of realistic, being a good boy and all. As you guys saw, I also made some changes to the surrounding areas here, placed in some more residential stuff, and just tried to make the whole thing a little more dense. So I actually ended up having placed quite a few residential buildings in this episode and seeing the population jump. So that's nice. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these row houses. They are really cute and snuggled in here, but I don't know if the location is a bit too central for this type of development here. But that kind of wraps up these traffic fixes we've been doing throughout this episode. And as you guys can see, despite a decent enough population boom, or not a boom, just a small boost to the population of the city, maybe 200-300 additional inhabitants during this episode, then traffic is still being managed really well. So that is very nice. This also concludes what we'll get done in this episode. Once again, I want to thank all you guys for all the nice comments and feedback, and just for being an awesome community. It's fantastic to be a part of. If you can't get enough of my City Skylines content, I've got a Patreon where $1 a month will get you ad-free early access to future episodes whenever it's possible for me, and I think access to 600 screenshots or something like that. So it's just a way to get a bit more content. Other than that, I don't think there's much more to say than thank you guys so much for watching. If you stuck with me this long, we cleaned up the traffic here in Port Douglas, and that has certainly made the city be in a much better position for future expansions, of which we'll of course need a lot, because we've only got the downtown core and some of these other inner city neighborhoods, and then we've got the start of the dockyards going, and while it does look quite nice, then there's much more to do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll try and wrap up with some cool cinematics. Bye.
I know I'm in your head. I know I'm in your head. But she's laying in your bed. I bet you wish I was there instead. I know I'm in your head. I could go all night long, singing to every song. I know you love it when I work it. I could go all night long, singing to every song. I know you love it when I work it. I know I'm in your head.